Welcome back to another episode of the Gaming Pulpit, where I basically talk about conspiracy theories and just analytical stuff. Before I jump into this particular video, I want to let you know that I appreciate all the views that I've gotten so far with this tiny little channel. If you come across this video, please definitely like and subscribe. Leave in the comments what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. I would heavily appreciate that. It really helps me to, change and grow the channel and things like that. But I'm just going to jump right into this. I definitely want to talk about, how the media actually controls what gamers like and what they do not like. I've noticed these trends for a long time, but it really came to form with this game. This game in particular was hyped to the heavens for no reason, which is No Man's Sky, by the way, if you didn't know what it is. It was a lot of promises, that was done by, Hello Games, by Sony, and by the media itself. But I really want to blame not Hello Games or Sony, but the media. They force you to like certain things, like ideas, and you get caught up in the social media buzz, and all of a sudden, sometimes it could really fuck up your expectations for things. Sometimes it can force you to like things, even though you deep down inside is like, I don't know, I don't really like this game. But everyone says it's good. In this particular case, there was a lot of things that was promised, and it was, I don't know, it's an indie game for sure. But there was a lot of people that really believed that this was going to be the be-all, end-all of gaming. They said there was infinite possibilities. What is it, 14 quadrillion or whatever number it is, planets. You can go some crazy large number that you can definitely visit every single planet based off of an algorithm and things like that. No one ever thought to do any kind of critical thinking when it came to the possibilities of how it worked. There was just a hype machine, and people, or the media, jumped on it. It was such a good story about traveling a galaxy with trillions of planets and star systems that they hyped it. They definitely hyped it, and that's a shame because they got everybody riled up into thinking that this game was going to be like this be-all, end-all game. So this game in particular was definitely a victim of media hype. I'm just going to sit there and take a look at some of the things that I did wanted to say. The same thing actually happened with the PS3 and the Xbox. Truth be told, the media, because it sounded good, it was nice little headlines, and it caught you. The media was pushing the PS3 to be some sort of console that it wasn't worth the $600. Now, it was extremely expensive. It was extremely expensive, and then due to the market and stuff like that, it was it's just the market. What is it? What I'm trying to say here? The economy collapsed. There was an economy collapse when they released this particular console, and it just was it was the perfect storm of shit. But either way, if you look at the PS3, it was a Blu-ray player, which was kind of needed for games, especially nowadays. Now we're starting to see the fruits of the labor of Blu-rays. We need these giant discs in space to even produce games of this particular caliber. It also had an internal, Wi-Fi card that was in there. It also had 60 gigabytes of a hard drive space, whereas Microsoft had 10. And one of the other SKUs was nothing, actually. It was a memory card. Speaking of memory cards, had all these proprietary cards that you can put in there and save your data and things of that nature. There was just so much that was packed into the PS4. Not even talking about the cell processor. But it had the value of it, and to be honest with you, it was like an $800 box, to be perfectly honest, and they were selling it at 600. I do know that it was expensive, and I don't want to sound like a fanboy or anything like that, but it was just one of those titles, if you are a journalist, that you can put out there and say that, stick it to evil Sony and stuff like that. Such a shitty company that's forcing you to do all this other stuff, or buy this console and stuff that we don't need, when in actuality, network cards, wireless controllers without you having to buy the battery. The media just pushed the 360 to be this console of choice. The same thing happened to the Wii. They kept saying that older people can play it, and they forced the people that were playing on the Wii, the people, just regular consumers, they bought the Wii and never touched it after like Wii Sports. You know what I mean? The media definitely controls. It controls. And you got to ask yourself these questions. Last generation was all about DLCs and pre-orders. The media also pushed that forward. With the PS3 or PS2 and the Xbox era and the GameCube era, no one was asking for no DLC. We were totally fine with downloading, with the game itself, you know what I mean? But yet, the media pushed this pre-order now, you know what I mean? And all this other DLC stuff. And it's just like no one's critically thinking. We are literally pushing ourselves into anti-consumerism. We are fucking ourselves because we keep listening to the media. Another trend is female leads. I don't have a problem with female leads. I really don't, because my favorite game of all time is Tomb Raider. But there's an agenda that's being pushed for female leads. You need to have a female character. The character needs to be this edgy type of, now she can't have big tits because that's frowned upon. She can't be a sexy character anymore because that's frowned upon, and all this other stuff. No one's using their mind. They are just basically letting the media program them to like whatever they're telling them to, and it's a shame. No one's thinking about this shit. No one's critically thinking. And I don't know if you guys remember the indie craze too. All of a sudden, the media was telling us, we should definitely like the media. I mean, we should like indie games. We have to like indie games. It was a must for us to like indie games. You know what I mean? It was, we got to play these 2D sprite games and for nostalgia reasons. And everyone went and started playing indie games for no apparent reason, because the media told us that was the cool thing to do. And along with the 60 frames per second. Back with PlayStation 1 and N64 and PS2 and GameCube and the Xbox, the original one, we didn't give a fuck about no 60 frames a second, and resolution was not a big thing. It's not naturally progressing. That's what's happening. The media is telling us, every game should be 60 frames a second, when a lot of people don't even know what it is. You got websites like Digital Foundry that's explaining what it is. And then you got the media jumping on to these explanations and forcing people to actually like that shit when they're not entirely sure why they should like it. It's just one of these buzzwords and what do you call it, clickbait. And then no one's using their mind. It's just the social media is fucking everything up and it's forcing everybody to like it. They'll tell you, and if you look at social media, and if you look at the media and you look at gaming journalism, everybody is pulling from the same pool of information. So you'll get one story that came out, like such Quantum Dreams, in their court case. And that shit spread like wildfire. For what? Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Let them close down for their lawsuits and stuff like that. We're in these personal businesses because the media is telling us to fucking care when it was never a fucking issue. It was a non-issue. And it's a shame that we're being... It's just a shame. It really is. When you look at all this stuff, and I just gotta shake my head. Same thing with crossplay. Crossplay has been shoved down our throats too. No one's really asked for that, but Microsoft, in conjunction with the media, is forcing us to like that shit too. And it really is a shame. You know what I mean? They told us what to hate. Even, I will say this too, the zombie game that's on Xbox. What is it? Xbox One. I forgot what the fuck you call that shit. But oh yeah, by the way, my song's about to end. This is a song that I produced. I will say this. But before I go on, because I definitely ran way over, I want to say this. The zombie game that's on the Xbox One, I don't know what the fucking, I don't know what it's called. I cannot remember it for shit. I never can remember the name. But I was looking at some previews, and the journalist was saying it was okay for it to be glitchy. It was okay for you to fall through the level because it was funny, and it was, you know, me and my friends laughed about that for hours and stuff like that. When is it okay to have a glitchy ass game? This is the type of shit that I'm talking about, and I definitely want to make a part two to this because I'm going to keep an eye on it. And everything that I see that is like this, where the media is definitely controlling, I definitely want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video. Once again, let me know what you liked. Let me know what you disliked. It's for me to grow my channel, and it's for me to provide excellent content. You know what I mean? It's like in the basement content, but still like that little gritty content. But I'm out. Thank you so much, and stay tuned.